Hi friends, it's Dave from Southgate Imaging. So today I just want to do a quick video on, I want to encourage you to try to do your first guitar setup. These are not as rocket science, hocus pocus as you might think. So basically what I have here is my guitar setup, my portable $0 workshop rig that I have in a previous video. And I encourage you, if you're in an apartment, you don't have a dedicated space, this thing works perfect. So just look at that previous video, I'll link to it. And this is, to me, a perfect workspace area. I don't have a bad back, I can reach to the guitar, everything works great. So this is my home $0 workspace. Now, setups are really simple in a way, and what you can do is if you can change your own strings, you can eventually move into doing more setup work yourself. So I'll have a video up on guitar string changing for beginners, total beginners, because there's questions everybody asks, and we'll have that. But this is the setup area. Why do you got to set up your guitar? Well, if you buy a brand new guitar, most likely it needs a setup. In fact, some of the more expensive guitars may need more setup work than probably inexpensive Yamaha FS 800 like this. It's just the way they are. Anyway, so what you want to do with a setup is you want to keep the action low but not buzz. So there's a fine line there. In my setups, I don't want to get the setup necessarily to like 99% perfection. I want something close. I don't want to take it, when you remove material from things, you can't get it back. So I want my setups close, but I don't necessarily have to have them perfect to the point of buzzing. That's my caveat. That's what I want to do. So there's only 3 real areas to set up. Really simple. There's a truss rod. It goes down your neck, and you can move your neck like this or this. Generally, you want it flat with just a little bit of relief. I'll go grab a capo and show you how the relief works. You'll basically want to grab a capo, put it on the 1st fret. You probably want to press down around the 12th or 13th fret, and around the middle of the fretboard, usually the 6th or 7th, you'll just tap on your strings. And the strings shouldn't be resting on that fret. They should be just a little bit elevated, but not very much. If you have it resting on the fret, yeah, you'll have a low action, but the thing will buzz. So that's what you're looking for in the relief. And basically, you just take a truss rod wrench, probably came with your guitar, put it in there, and if you want to move the strings down, you tighten it clockwise. If you want to add relief, you turn it this way. My advice is don't go too much too fast, maybe a 1/4 of a turn or a 1/2 turn at the most. Don't sway too much from that, and just let it sit and acclimatize. That's very important. Okay, the next step is work at the nut. And what I do, here, I'll just move the camera in so you'll see. So the way I like to look at the nut is I basically will press down at the 3rd fret and just look at how much deflection is in here at the 1st fret. And if it's sitting on it, you can't take any more material off. You don't really want it sitting on it. You just want it kissing that 1st fret. And I just kind of bounce that there, bounce that there. What this is telling me, I don't want to take any more material off of that nut. When these things are too high, that makes when your strings are too high off of the nut, that makes the guitar very hard to play. So you want to move that down. To do that, I use pipe cleaners, welding tip cleaners, and you just slowly take material off one slot at a time and test it. You don't have to take strings off. You can just loosen the string, move this over here, and do that. There's videos on that. This is just the overview of what you'll do setup. So once you have the nut roughly where you want it, now you want to look at your saddle. And what your saddle height is this adjusts the playability right here. So if you got your truss rod correct, if you got your nut correct, then the saddle height will dial this in right here, the string height here. I should measure it. I just know where I like them, and I know this one's right. If this one, after the truss rod and the nut, if it's still too high here, basically I just have to go down, loosen the strings, take the nut out, sand it down with a little sandpaper. I go slow, come back and refit it and try it, and I just want to bring it down slow. Anyway, I hope that helps. I personally find this probably a very rewarding part of guitar ownership. It makes me takes an interest in playing. And if I have my guitar set up nice and it plays good and it always sounds good, I'm more apt to pick this guitar up and play it. And it doesn't matter if it's a $2,000 guitar or a well set up $300 guitar. The less expensive guitar can be more interesting to play. It just plays good, it's easy on your fingers, and that's what you want. There's nothing worse than a new player and you're finding your guitar very hard to press down on the strings. This setup stuff eliminates all that. And at the least, you'll understand where your setup is lacking. So when you take it into your guitar store, you can talk to your luthier and tell them what you're going to need done. So keep that in mind. Now I got another story. So I had a guitar I bought for the $100 guitar challenge. And what I bought was a Simon & Patrick Songsmith Burgundy guitar. It was a great guitar. I got it for $100. It was amazing. I got it for $100 because the owner's son complained about the guitar, found it too hard to play. They ended up swapping it out for a Yamaha. And there's nothing bad with Yamahas, but they had a great guitar. They just didn't realize it. I took it home. I spent an hour on it on this workbench and turned it into a great playing guitar. There's no questions. And I basically went through the same process. I checked the relief in the neck. I checked the nut slot, and I checked the saddle, made the adjustments, put on fresh strings, cleaned it all up, and it played like butter after that. They would never have changed out the guitar if they had known that they should do that. So that's what I want to reinforce here. And you can progress into these setups. Almost all guitar players are going to have to learn to change their own strings. So when you go from that stage and you get a nice, comfortable working environment like this, I talk about my $0 workbench, you can easily progress from string changes to, say, just adjust the truss rod. Get comfortable doing that. You don't have to do all the rest. You can take it in stages. The key is actually don't go too far, because if you go too far, if you take too much off the nut, you're going to have to replace the nut. If you take too much off the saddle, you're probably going to have to replace the saddle. So basically just go slow, make incremental changes. I learned on inexpensive beginner guitars, but inexpensive beginner guitars play really good these days. There's really not a lot of junk out there. So that's my advice, is to take an interest in that side of it. It's a great side of the hobby, the whole luthiery home setup thing, and kind of move forward with that. Even if you don't get past the setup and a string change and the truss rod adjustment, that's a big step and your guitar will play much better. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, subscribe. Any comments? Let me know how you're making out with your home setups, or any questions you have, I might be able to help. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for watching.